Alright, you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and start today. I made like some cheat sheets that you guys could use for the test. If you hear chickens or music or babies, that's okay. Okay, well, let's get into it. What we need to remember. Wine structure, what's the taste and feel. So that covers all of this. I'll kind of dive deep into that in the next couple seconds if you guys give me some time. Just kidding, sorry, it's hot and I'm moody and there's bugs biting me. Okay, so we have sweetness levels. Those go from dry to off dry to medium to sweet. So 4 levels of sweetness. I mean, you could get specific. There could be 6, there could be 8, but 4 is good. You could even do just dry, medium, sweet, but off dry is just a little bit less dry, but not quite medium, obviously. Acidity is like that mouth-watering feeling. It could also be like a puckering type of feeling, like just think about a lemon, or like biting into a lemon. Tannins are dry. They have like that grippy feeling, and it could kind of be similar to what oversteeped tea would taste like and feel like. And then the body is like how heavy or thick it feels in your mouth. So if it feels light, more like a Chardonnay would feel kind of light, or mostly white wines are pretty light, whereas like a Merlot would be pretty heavy and thick in the mouth. You could think about like skim milk versus whole milk. By the way, for the body, there are 4 things that make up the body, and it's going to be acidity, sweetness, tannins, and the last thing is going to be the APV, the ABV, the alcohol levels. Yeah, so those 4 things will make up the body. So if before you start your test you want to remember things, you could just put acid is like lemon, tannin is like tea, and body is like milk. That we could kind of remember what they represent and resemble. Alcohol levels. This is important. This will be definitely on the test. There are I think some more specific numbers than these for the test that I took personally. There was like 14.5 or some other number, I can't remember exactly, but it roughly means like a low. Okay, so low alcohol in wine would be less than 11%. A medium alcohol level would be 11 to 13.9%, and that's where most wines lie. Anyways, on the map, they're usually all about mediums. Not all, I mean, obviously, you know, when you go to the store and you're like, which one do I want? And you want the one with the most alcohol. So then high would be 14% and up. These are more like your fortified wines. Those are usually 14%. I love myself a 14% Sauvignon Blanc, or what's the other one that I like? Pinot Gris. Okay, so yeah, quick recap. Low is 11% below, medium is 11% to 13.9, and your high is 14 point anything up. Fortified wines could go up to 22%. Yeah, so remember that. 11 low, 14 high, middle is most. We talked about climate already and how they affect grapes. You guys already know this if you watch my videos. Cold climate means high acid, low alcohol. Warm climate means low acid, full flavor, and high alcohol. A trick that you can remember, just think of fruit ripening. Warm equals riper and richer. So warmer climates always have riper and richer grapes. Let's talk about our grape varieties really quickly. These are just a few of the main ones. It's always good to know the main ones before you get. There's so many grape varieties. There's like the silliest, smallest 5 grapes ever or something, but they still exist, so it's gonna be really hard to memorize all of them. These are some of the most important ones. We have Sauvignon Blanc, which is light and crisp. It could have like a grassy feeling to it. We have Chardonnay, which is like flexible. It could be oaked or unoaked. We have Pinot Noir, which is a light-bodied. So think the body is light as opposed to the Cabernet Sauvignon, which is full, bold, and very tannic. So the Pinot Noir is more of a red fruit, which we'll get into also next if I decide to do it next. Cabernet Sauvignon, full, bold, and tannic. Also, they're going to ask about food pairings too. You would think that they wouldn't necessarily, but there's gonna be like maybe 3 questions. I think you have 30 questions in 45 minutes, I believe is what it is. They're all multiple choice for level 1, so that's good, but it's also scary and intimidating. I was the last one to finish because I love taking all of my time. Because I'm in no rush. What am I gonna do? Go home and cry? No, I'm just gonna finish my test in 45 minutes and be fine with them. So yeah, food and wine pairing basics. So a good tip to know or to use all the time, even if you're not gonna take the test, good tip to know is if you have a bold wine, you should pair that with bold foods. But however, I do want to recommend always picking your food first and then pick your wine. I know it's weird because the waitress is always going to ask you like, oh, what can I get you a drink? And then you haven't even looked at what you want to eat yet. But if you have an idea what you want to eat, then you could go ahead and tell them. But I always try to pick what I want to eat first. That way I could match it with what I want to drink. What if I get like, a champagne and then I want to eat a freaking hamburger? That's going to be ridiculous. It'll be fine though. I always get oysters anyways. So yeah, bold wines go with bold foods and etc. And that goes for all of them. Light wines go with light foods. Acid in food will make the wine feel softer, so you have to remember this is again why we pick the food first, because the food is going to accent the wine. So if you pick like a really acidic food, it might take away the flavor of the wine and you might just feel like you're drinking nothing. Yet obviously the taste is going to affect really well on the wine, as we'll get into that in the next one too. We'll do like a pairing video and you'll really understand. This one is very important. Spicy foods can clash with high alcohol. If you're gonna eat spicy curry, do not get a high alcohol wine because it's gonna hurt your mouth and your soul. And also, this is also one of my favorite wines with the fortified and the port wines and the dessert wines. If you have a sweet food, you need an even sweeter wine because the sweetness of the food may soften a weaker wine and make it taste completely neutral. So if your wine is really, really, really sweet and you have a sweet food, then it will just feel just really sweet. So yeah, that's really important to know. They will ask you about that thing.